Okay, on to bag 5, your final bag. We've taken everything out of the bags here. We got all our hardware. We did not open up the bumpers. We don't need to open all those up. We're building the dirt light model, so we're going to take the other 3, put those to the side. We have our suspension hardware. We have the balls, the ball studs. The good thing about the ball studs is that there's only 4mm in here. You got the kingpin springs, your nuts for the suspension, your hardware, wheel bearings and nuts. We have our shocks from a previous step and our steering rods. So first step is going to be installing the suspension balls into the arms. And the easiest way to do it, there's a couple ways. You can do it like this, just nice pop in. You can see how nice and loose that is. You want to ensure it's loose. Or another way you can do it is you can just place the ball on the table like so. Take the part, put it over the top, and press it on. Either way works. It doesn't matter which side the balls go on. That one was a little tough, so we'll try it with the pliers. There you go. Easy peasy. All right, do the next one. All right. Okay, next we're going to install the ball studs. Again, we only have 4mm ball studs in this step, or in this bag, so you don't have to worry about mixing any of them up. Screw that in until the base of the ball stud is flush with the arm. Make sure there's no thread showing, like so. Take your next one, install it in the arm. And there you go. Installed perfectly. On to step 2 of bag 5, we are going to be building the front suspension arm assembly. We're going to start with the bottom arms, and a couple of things you need to pay attention to here. There is a left and a right. They're marked with an L and an R, and then the cavity for the spring. So we're going to take that arm, place it on the front mount, take that lower front hinge pin, slide it through like so. Slide the right side in. Next, we're going to take our M2x4 truss head screw, install a washer on there, and what this is going to do is it's just going to keep it's going to capture the hinge pin from falling out. All right. Next, we're going to install the front springs. Those simply go down into the cavity. And then what we're going to do here is we're just going to tighten down the spring platform a little bit to hold that spring in place as we're building the front end. Go to the other side, place it on there, and just tighten that down. Keep your spring in place like so. All right. Next, we are going to install the front upper arms. And that's where we use our M2x20mm screws. And then you want to pay attention to the orientation of these. Right here with the diagram, you can see that the long part's going to go towards the back of the car, and the shorter part is going to go towards the front of the car. I'm going to get that started. We're going to tighten that down until you see it come through the back side of the arm. just protrudes slightly to where we're going to put the M2 lock nut on there. So you can see where it's just coming out. Now we want to take our M2 lock nut. This is where your little needle nose pliers come in handy. And also the car stand. And we're just going to place that down there where that nut was popping out the back side. And get it started. And then with this, you want to, there's a couple things. One, you want to make sure that this arm is centered on the mount up here by making these two spaces equal. So we back that off a little bit, make them equal. Now you can see the arm doesn't fall down. It's not equal either. So we'll tighten that in a little bit, make those two spaces equal. And you can see the arm is a little tight. So that's where we just want to come back here, turn it in, and then back it out. And what you want is you want that arm to just free fall. Like so. Next, another M2x20 for the left side. Remember, the long side is going to be in the back. And again, just tighten that down until you see the screw just start to pop through the back side of the arm. Like so. Next, we're going to get our M2 lock nut. Position the car. Let's do it like this. And that side, actually, Nerf bar is hitting. There we go. And the key here is make sure you have some small pliers, needle noses. I'm going to back that out a little bit. Make sure the nut's straight. Get it lined up. And tighten it in. Again, making sure your spacing is equal for the stock setting. Spacing looks good. And then ensuring that your arm is free. So it's not free there, so we need to adjust it slightly. So we're going to tighten that down and back it off. Usually just back it off and then tighten it down. And there you have it. Big thing is you want to ensure your suspension is nice and free. Next, we are going to do the steering rod and spindle assembly. So you're going to take your right spindle, your M2x20, slide that through the top arm, slide it through the spindle, push it down through, and thread a nut on. And then when you tighten this down, you're going to want to tighten it all the way down. And then back it off a quarter turn. The goal here is to not have any play in this area. So we just tightened it down. And then we're just going to back it off. Quarter turn. Keep that nice and free. And then there's no play there. Alright, now to the other side. Again, just Slide that through, install your spindle. Install it through the lower arm. Like so. Thread the nut. And then tighten it all the way down. And then just back it off a quarter turn. You can see it's nice and free there. Okay, next we are going to install the steering rods. Pop that onto the servo, then onto your spindle. And there you go, your front end assembly is complete. Okay, next we are going to do step 4, install the bumper. You're going to need 2 of the 10mm screws for this step. And then you have the pins here. It goes like so, and those pins are going to locate into those holes. Push on. Holes are... You just want to pay attention to make sure when you push it on, have some good light so you can make sure that the holes are lined up. Like so. And install the screw. On to the next step, we're going to be installing our front shocks from the earlier steps that we built those. So we're going to need 2 of the 6mm screws. Put that on our hex wrench. Pump that on. Locate the shock into the mount and install. Now again, just like the rears, you don't want to over tighten these screws, just enough to get that screw through the back side and just make it flush with the mount there. Do the next side. And again, just making sure you don't over tighten that screw. Just get it to where it's flush on that other side, like so. There you have it, your front shocks are installed. On to the next step. So if you are building one of the other vehicles, other than the dirt late model, obviously for the asphalt late model, you're going to install the body posts. Obviously you have your window nets for all the different vehicles, so those are in the other bags, but for this we're just doing the dirt late model. Next is to install the body. So we have a body here. You're going to need 6 of the 6mm or M2 by 6mm screws. We have those here. And start installing. Just to get everything started, we're gonna put it in the top there. And you don't got to crank down these screws. You don't really want to, you just got to, as soon as it starts to hit the polycarbonate, you can stop. Line up the front screws. Now we're going to put in the back screws. So in the back screws, you got to get the holes lined up with the inner plate. Pretty straightforward to do. So just take your fingers, locate them, and then find the body mount. There we go. All right, body is fully mounted. All right, now onto the wheel and tire installation. So we got our rears here, fronts here. So really straightforward. Slides right on. Get your nut driver with a 4mm nut. And install it. Do the other side. All right, rears are installed. Next, we are going to install the bearings in our front wheels. So we have a flange bearing. Drop that down in there and just press it in with your finger. Same on the other side. And ready to install. Oh. So what I like to do is just put the nut in there and then screw it down. One thing you might find is after you use these wheel nuts quite a few times, that nylock does get a little worn out. We do suggest to replace those nuts every so often to ensure you have a nice fit on that nylock that's in the nut. Oh, a little too tight. Back it off. Good to go. All right, so there you have it. You have built your racer kit, ready to go hit the track. Throw a charged battery in there. Make sure you get your speed control programmed, and you're ready to go. Hope these series of videos were helpful, and thanks for watching.